The handshake doesn't happen. That's the first thing everyone remembers. The moment Bruce Lee extends his hand and Jim Kelly doesn't take it. 300 people in the studio audience see it. 20 million watching at home see it. Johnny Carson sees it. And the tension that follows defines everything that comes after. NBC Studios, Burbank, California. The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. August 15th, 1973, Wednesday night taping, 5:30 p.m. The show tapes early, airs at 11:30 p.m. Bruce Lee sits backstage in the green room, watching a monitor, waiting for his segment. On screen, Johnny Carson is interviewing the first guest, Jim Kelly, karate champion. Enter the Dragon co-star. The movie releases in 3 weeks. This is promotion, standard Hollywood publicity tour. Jim Kelly looks good on camera, confident, charismatic. He's wearing a sharp suit, talking about his tournament background, his championship record, how he's undefeated in full-contact karate competition. The audience loves it. Carson asks good questions, makes jokes. The segment flows smoothly. Jim talks about the movie, about working in Hong Kong, about the fight scenes, but he keeps circling back to his tournament credentials, his real fighting background. The implication is subtle but present. He's not just an actor, he's a legitimate martial artist, a proven champion. Bruce watches from backstage. He's met Jim before, worked with him for 3 months on set. Professional relationship, respectful, no problems during filming. But there's been tension underneath. Small things, comments, the way Jim talks about real fighting versus choreography, the way he emphasizes his tournament victories when discussing martial arts, like that's the only measure that matters, like competition is the only validation. A production assistant appears. Young woman, headset. Mr. Lee, you're up next, right after this commercial break. Bruce nods, stands, straightens his dark suit. Simple, professional, not flashy. He walks to the curtain, waits, can hear Carson thanking Jim Kelly for being a great guest. The band plays, commercial break, 3 minutes. Bruce stands in the wings. The stage manager counts down, back in 5, 4, 3 points, live again. Carson turns to camera. My next guest is a martial arts expert and the star of the new film Enter the Dragon. Please welcome Bruce Lee. The band plays, the curtain parts. Bruce walks through. The applause is strong, not stadium level, but respectful, enthusiastic. Bruce is known, the Green Hornet, guest appearances, martial arts demonstrations, and now a leading man in what everyone expects will be a major action film. Bruce walks toward Carson's desk. Carson stands. They shake hands, firm, professional. Carson gestures to the guest area, 2 chairs. Jim Kelly occupies the first chair, closest to Carson's desk. Bruce will sit in the second chair, standard arrangement. As Bruce approaches, he turns toward Jim, does what anyone would do, extends his hand, common courtesy, professional greeting. They're co-stars, about to promote the same film together. Jim Kelly looks at the hand, doesn't move, doesn't reach out. His arms stay crossed over his chest. His eyes don't quite meet Bruce's, just looks somewhere past him, through him. The studio feels it immediately. A shift. Energy changing. Audience members glancing at each other. What's happening? Why isn't he shaking his hand? Bruce's hand hangs in the air. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Awkward seconds that stretch. Then he lowers it. His face stays neutral, but his jaw tightens slightly. Carson sees it, tries to recover quickly. Bruce, have a seat. Tell us about your role in the film. Bruce sits in the second chair, composed, professional, but everyone in the studio felt what just happened. Jim Kelly just refused to shake Bruce Lee's hand on national television. No explanation, no acknowledgement, just a refusal. Public, deliberate. Carson launches into questions, asks Bruce about the fight choreography, about his martial arts background, about what it was like filming in Hong Kong. Bruce answers clearly, professionally, but the tension is obvious. Jim sitting right next to him, arms still crossed, not looking at Bruce, just staring forward. After a few minutes, Carson addresses Jim. "Jim, you worked with Bruce on this film. What was that experience like?" Jim uncrosses his arms, leans forward. "It was educational, Johnny. Bruce is very good at choreography, at making things look good for camera. That's a real skill, different from what I do, but valuable. The words are polite, but there's something underneath, an edge, a distinction being drawn." Carson picks up on it. "Different how?" Jim smiles. "Well, I come from tournament fighting, full contact, real competition where you actually hit people, where there are winners and losers based on who can actually fight, not who looks best doing forms." The audience murmurs. Bruce doesn't react, just sits there, calm, waiting. Jim continues. "On the movie, Bruce is the star. He calls the shots, tells everyone how to move, what to do. That's fine, that's his role. But in a real tournament, in actual competition, that's different territory." Carson senses something brewing. Good television, drama. "Bruce, you want to respond to that?" Bruce's voice is quiet, steady. "Tournament fighting is one form of martial arts, valid for that context. Rules, judges, points. What I teach is different. Self-defense, street application, different purposes." Jim laughs slightly. "Street application, that's a nice way of saying you don't compete, don't test yourself against real opponents in real conditions." The studio is getting uncomfortable. This is confrontation, public disagreement. Carson tries to lighten it. "Gentlemen, you're both martial artists, both skilled, different approaches, right?" But Bruce is looking at Jim now, direct. "Can I ask you something?" Jim turns. Sure, the word is casual, but his body language is defensive. "Why didn't you shake my hand?" The studio goes silent, completely silent. This is the question, the thing everyone noticed, everyone wondered about, but nobody expected Bruce to actually ask it, on camera, live, in front of millions. Jim's expression shifts. "What?" Bruce's voice stays calm. "When I walked over, I extended my hand. You didn't take it. Why?" Carson shifts in his seat. "This wasn't in the planned segment. This is real, unpredictable." Jim recovers, shrugs. "Just didn't feel like it." The audience gasps, some nervous laughter. "That's brutal, dismissive, disrespectful." Bruce nods slowly. "That tells me something." Jim's eyes narrow. "What's that?" Bruce says simply, "That you're insecure." The studio freezes, completely freezes. Did Bruce Lee just call Jim Kelly insecure on national television? The karate champion? The undefeated tournament fighter? Jim's face changes. The casual demeanor drops. Real anger underneath. "You want to say that again?" Bruce doesn't back down. "You're insecure. Not about your fighting ability, about your role in the film, about being the co-star instead of the star, about your tournament championships not translating to Hollywood success." Jim stands up, tall, powerful. Carson half rises from his desk. "Gentlemen," but Jim cuts him off. "You don't know what you're talking about." Bruce stands too, shorter, smaller, but completely calm. "Then why refuse the handshake? Why spend your segment emphasizing tournament credentials? Why make distinctions between your real fighting and my choreography? That's not confidence. That's someone trying to prove they matter." The cameras are locked on them. This is incredible television, dangerous television. Jim's voice rises. "I've won 15 tournaments. 15. Against real competition, real fighters. What have you won? Bruce's answer is quiet. I don't compete in tournaments. I teach people to survive real violence, different goals. Jim shakes his head. That's what people say when they can't compete, when they're afraid to test themselves. Bruce looks at him for a long moment, then says, "You think I'm afraid to test myself? Or are you afraid that fighting is bigger than tournaments? That your championships, as impressive as they are, don't make you better than everyone else? That maybe someone who doesn't compete in your specific format might still understand combat at a level you haven't reached?" The studio is frozen. Jim Kelly stares at Bruce, processing. The anger is still there, but something else is mixing in. Confusion. Recognition. Bruce continues, "We're co-stars. We worked together for 3 months, trained together, ate together, built something together, and you won't shake my hand because in your mind I'm the star and you're supporting cast, because I'm the one who choreographs the fights, because people defer to me on set, and that hurts your ego, makes you feel less than, so you refuse a handshake to show you're not beneath me." Jim doesn't respond. Bruce takes a step closer, not aggressive, just present. "But here's what you don't understand. I don't think I'm above you, never have. Tournament champions have skills I don't, experience I haven't earned. Your victories are real, legitimate. I respect them. All I wanted was the same respect back. Just a handshake, just acknowledgement that we're both martial artists on different paths. That's all." The silence stretches. Carson is frozen at his desk. The audience isn't breathing. 20 million people at home are watching this unfold. Jim's hands unclench slowly. His shoulders drop slightly. When he speaks, his voice is different, quieter. "You're right." Bruce waits. "I've been carrying that, being the co-star when I'm the real champion. Watching you get the respect on set when I've won more fights. It bothered me, and I took it out on you with that handshake thing. That was wrong." Bruce nods. "I understand that feeling, the gap between how we see ourselves and how others see us. But refusing basic courtesy doesn't fix it, doesn't prove anything except insecurity." Jim extends his hand. For real this time. No games, no performance. Just an offering. "I apologize. That was disrespectful. You didn't deserve that." Bruce takes the hand. They shake properly. The audience erupts. Applause, relief, the tension breaking into something better, something real. They sit back down. Carson is grinning. This is the best television he's done in months. Unscripted, raw, human. They talk for another 10 minutes. The confrontation is over, replaced by genuine conversation. Jim asks Bruce about teaching philosophy. Bruce asks Jim about tournament strategy. They find common ground, discipline, dedication, the endless pursuit of improvement. By the end, they're laughing together. The refused handshake feels distant, like it happened to different people. After the show, backstage, Jim finds Bruce. "Hey." Bruce turns. "Hey." Jim says, "I meant that apology. I was being an ass, letting ego get in the way." Bruce nods. "We all do that sometimes. Pressure makes us defensive." Jim laughs slightly. "You handled that better than I did. Calling me out like that took guts." Bruce smiles. "Or stupidity. Could have gone very wrong." Jim shakes his head. "No, it needed to be said, and you said it right. Calm, direct, made me hear it." They shake hands again. Easy this time. Natural. "We should train together sometime," Jim says, "after the movie comes out. Show me some of that Jeet Kune Do material." Bruce grins. "Only if you show me your tournament techniques. I want to understand full contact competition better." Deal. They part ways, the tension gone, replaced by mutual respect born from confrontation. The footage airs that night. 20 million people watch. The refused handshake, the confrontation, the apology. It becomes legendary. Bruce Lee called out Jim Kelly for disrespect, made him apologize, not with violence, not with demonstration, with words, with truth. The studio froze because sometimes honesty delivered calmly is more powerful than any technique. Years later, after Bruce's death, reporters asked Jim Kelly about that night. Bruce taught me something important. He taught me that respect isn't conditional, isn't based on who's the star or who has more tournament wins. It's about recognizing another person's humanity, their effort, their path. I was being petty, jealous, and he called me on it in front of millions. That took courage, and it made me better. The story lives on, gets retold. The handshake that didn't happen, the confrontation that froze the studio, the apology that followed, and what it revealed about ego, about respect, about what really matters between two masters on different paths who found connection through conflict.